Hey guys, how y'all doing? So, just want to go through and record this just so y'all could see it and hopefully y'all can understand it. So I'm going to go through, and this is on the test Solstice server. You'll see it right here, test Solstice, and this is on an island map right now. Um, you'll see a couple of things in my inventory, just ignore those. I just kind of went around killing things and trying to get some materials just so I can build all this for you. So, alright, so you'll find this on the south spawn, the default south 1 spawn. Alright. What I'm going to do real quick though is add some textures on Epic, apply, save, resume. There we go. Alright, so while it's loading up here, I'm going to go through and kind of explain them all. There's a ton, and I want to kind of get through them. I'm also going to explain how I'm expecting to use the Dino storage terminal in this new cluster that we're going to build. So we'll start there. Alright, so we are using Automated Arc in addition to S+. We've gotten rid of quite a few S+ items. I have that list, and I will read it out right now, but I'll again let you all know later. So if I go into my engrams here and I go for S+, you see them all, but you won't see a few of them, specifically the hatchery. That's gone, along with the animal tender. The farmer is gone. Hitching posts are gone. And the industrial forge, the S+ industrial forge is gone, but you do see the AA industrial forge. Not going to explain why, it's just easier to show it this way. Alright. So first things first, the AA workbench, automatic arc. This is where you can see everything here. So you'll notice you don't see any engrams where you can do, and as per my announcement in Discord, you have to learn all of the mods, engrams, in order to use them. So I'm just gonna kind of go through them real quick and learn them all. There are quite a few that I've left on, and of course I'll be showing them all to you right shortly. So I'm just gonna go through, learn them all. Grill, generator, refrigerator, freezer, a medical station, and then a couple of vaults. The forge and the polymer converter. Alright, great. So now when you open it up, there they are. Okay, and you can do storage, and there's a cooking option too. So there you go. Awesome. Okay, so first things first, you need the workbench in order to craft all of this stuff. All right. It's just like a smithy, if you will, but it is for automated arc. All right. This is the first thing, the control console. Automatic arc comes with something very similar to S+ called a pool system, a universal pool system. But automated arc is actually a little bit better than S+. So S+ can pool universally. That's still here. You'll notice if I open this up, this is still here. I can still pool. S+ is still here, still working. But what this does, the universal pool from automated arc, is it automatically moves things to other containers. So from let's say a grill to a fridge automatically for meat, or for example, stone to a vault, or raw metal to a forge. So it works that way, and that is called the universal pool for automated arc, and the control console kind of does it all. It has a manual sort button, and I'll go and show you what that does momentarily, but right now it doesn't do anything because it's all sorted. But I'll go and explain that later. Okay. I can also exclude structures, so I can select here and exclude structures to pull and push to. Okay. All right. This is a vacuum. It does, the pull range for this is quite large. I believe it's about 10 foundation radius. So it's pretty big. Okay. What it does is whenever I drop something, so for example, I'm gonna drop this pike. You see it there. It'll disappear and the vacuum picks it up. Okay, so there it is back in my inventory, but that's where it went, so that's pretty cool. Right? I'll explain that a little bit more detail here in a bit, but the vacuum works in conjunction with the control panel. So the vacuum pretty much sucks anything up off the floor, except for a few items. I'll explain those in a bit, but just about everything up off the floor, and then disperses it to the control console, which then pushes everything that's inventory to any kind of container that's listed as a container for that item. So I'm going to take half the metal here, and I'll make an example here in a bit. All right. Next up is a generator. It is the automated arc wireless generator. It's really simple. Just needs gas. That's it. And it's wireless. You can increase the foundation to 10, or you can decrease it as low as 1. If I pulse the generator range, you see how far it is. It powers this entire area pretty easily. Okay. And if I was to show the range, you would see it pick up real quick right here. Right there. You see? This is where it ends right here. And then when there's items, it's a lot easier to see that range. It's because it stays no matter what. So it's like right there. Right here is that range. No bubble on this one. So automated arc has a couple of weird little show range options, but you'll get used to it. All right. So it needs gas, but will power on endlessly for about a radius of 10 foundations or so. All right. Next up, refrigerator. Now, looks like a traditional refrigerator, and let me turn up the gamma, right? But it has two pieces actually, refrigerator and the freezer. You can actually build them separately. However, you cannot have the freezer without the refrigerator. You must have a refrigerator in order to have the freezer. And it's about a 9-to-1. So let's say, I might go ahead and take some cooked meat there, right? Let's just take it all. Okay, so right now we're at 19 minutes spoil time. It's now 1 day. All right, so I'm going to take that out again. And again, it's about 19 minutes. But up here in the freezer, it's 10 days. So it like multiplies it times. It's like a 900% increase. Okay. The fridge is one of the first things that can use the OCD pooling system. And you can see it right here, has OCD pooling. So for example, right now, I can show the OCD list, and it's got cooked meat. And then if I do the same thing for the freezer, it's cooked prime meat. So I am automatically pulling every piece of meat and every piece of cooked prime meat into my fridge and into my freezer respectively. Right? So it makes it easy for me to kind of stay organized and always be able to find it. Okay? So as an example, I'm going to go ahead and get some cooked meat and drop it. So you actually see there's a new mesh for that thanks to automated arc. You saw it disappeared? It's probably in my vacuum, and sure enough, it's there. Now every minute to 3 minutes or so, this thing does a pulse, and we'll see it in there. So no meat in here. There's cooked meat in here. And just for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and take out this meat here. Okay, so the fridge is empty right now. And we'll come back right now after a pulse and you'll see it there. All right. So now, you see the cooked meat here. I can put it in here. This is a dehydrator. It looks like a preserving bin because it's the exact same model, except they added some meat up top, some bacon strips or whatnot to make it look like jerky. This, it doesn't need oil or spark powder. You just put a type of meat in there, whether it's cooked meat or prime meat, anything that can make it jerky. You can put in here and it'll dehydrate it for you and it'll make jerky for you. It's also a lot faster. I set this up today and I already have 35 cooked meat jerky, so it's pretty nice. It's kind of set it and forget it. It also does increase the spoil timer significantly, so you can easily come in here and probably fill this up with jerky pretty quickly. All right, let me go check real quick to see. Yep, it's still here. It hasn't done the pulse. 282, remember that. And the fridge is still empty. We're going on next to eggs. So egg crates. The egg crate is really nice. It'll pick up eggs around the area. And it's got a pretty large pull range. You see there, it'll pick up anything in the area. So if you have any dinos out and you're wanting to collect eggs while the dinos are out, this is definitely an option for you. I will show you guys a different way to collect eggs and to generate way more eggs than you're ever going to need here shortly when we discuss the dino storage mod and the terminal. Alright, so it can also be enabled to pick up fertilized eggs. But I'll also show you the terminal of that there too. Okay. The egg crate does not. It can only gather the eggs. It does the fertilized eggs. It cannot gather. It cannot pre-cook the eggs for you. So you see the egg drops, and here in a couple of seconds it'll disappear, and you go in here, and there they are. So, pretty nifty. Alright, next up, spoiling bin. This is great. Sometimes you need to make a whole ton of narcotic or something, and you don't have enough spoiled meat, right? So you usually have to like split it up and do things like that. So the spoiler looks really nice. I'm going to go ahead and take 5. And the easiest way to do this is literally just like right click, spit it all. And then you just move it on over and it stays split, and then it really spoils this meat quickly. So you could easily get like a stack of 300, split it all, and then just throw it in here, and in a matter of seconds it'll spoil for you, which is really, really nice. So here it is going to finish. 34 obviously goes to 39. There it goes. That's nice. Alright, going back to the meat thing. So the vacuum is now empty. Go over here into the fridge, and there's my 282 cooked meat. That is how the automated pulling system works. Because I could actually put, let's say, the cooked prime in here as well, in the fridge instead of the freezer. I can throw that in there, and I just add resources to list. So it just says cooked prime and cooked meat were put in here. And up here, since I don't want to do that, I clear the OCD list. There you go. So these all these things that have OCD pulling works off of list. And it's always easy to see. You just hit OCD list. Show OCD list. Alright, I'm going to go pick up that drop real quick because I think I'm going to need something from it here. Yeah, so nothing fancy or whatnot, right? But what I'm going to do is, let's say, 'cause I don't want to do that, and then demolish it. And then I want to go ahead and drop some wood, all this stuff. And it's going to get picked up by the vacuum pretty quickly, like within 15 seconds or so. There it goes, and so you'll see all of it in there, just as an example. Alright, I'll explain where that goes later. Alright, so we're here. This is nice and easy, guys. It's a trash can, so you literally just throw it in here, and you're like, by the way, this also has pulling, so if you have like skins or something that you're bringing in, or let's say a primitive bow, you can add those resources to the list and it'll always pull them in here. And so once you come in, like once every month or something, you can just delete everything, which is really, really nice. I'm going to clear it because I don't want it pulling that stuff all the time, but you can just delete everything in there really easily. That is kind of a waste of resources, but things like skins don't give you any resources back, so that's usually what it's probably going to be used for the best. Alright, so next up, the Veggie Crate. So the Veggie Crate's really nice. You just give it resources to pool, and it says it right here in the definition. You have to give it veggies or berries. So berries or veggies inside, and you just add them to the pool list. And so you show the list. I already have them all in there, and as soon as you drop them, or they're pretty much anywhere in the base, they're going to end up in here, which is really sweet. It also increases your timer quite a bit to days. Usually it's like hours or something. Alright, next up is the gardening station. The gardening station is really sweet too. There's always one or two things that are like really hard to do. So what the gardening station does is it creates a couple of things. You can create, of course, another gardening station, but it's really simple. In the farming, they're seeds, so they allow you to grow cactus, redwood saplings, rare mushrooms, rare flowers, fungal trees, agrivic mushrooms, aquatic mushrooms, acerbic mushrooms, auric mushrooms, and silk bushes. That's not really a thing, but it's art. Who cares? So what it does is it kind of gives you like a seed, and then you can plant the seed. So earlier, I put in 10 rare flowers in here, and I created one, which is nice. Then I came over here to a crop plot and I planted it. So right now you see the little flower there, and it's still in the seedling form. And right now I don't have it irrigated, but that's fine. It'll grow flowers for you, or it'll grow tree sap, or it'll grow mushrooms. It'll grow pretty much whatever it is you need it to based on the seeds. And you can use it in any crop plot, which is really, really nice. But for here, I'm using the AA crop plot. Alright, and just to guys give you kind of a hint of what that looks like, I'm going to go crop plot. So you see there is the age large crop plot. You can pretty much use that for everything, or you can just use a regular crop plot or an S plus crop plot. Alright, back here. This is kind of like our first level refrigerator, if you will. 2 jars and a block of ice to store perishables in early game. So 7 minutes spoil time, 6 hours spoil time. It's kind of like our first fridge. And you can put all sorts of perishables in here. This does not have OCD pooling, just FYI. But you can definitely put Acatina paste in here, or organic polymer and things like that. So it's really nice for low level first tier. Alright, crop plot, I already explained that. Now this is a plant commander, plant commander. It looks like a giant plant X because this controls all plant X in the area. If you imagine you had an entire row of plant X, well, you would have to go each one by one once they're grown and be like, set targeting to high and dinos only. So with this, you can press E and adjust the plant range. Let's say high, and then if you hold it, there's another option here for adjust plant targeting. Oops. And you can do all targets, tame, survivors, mounted, only tamed, only wild, only players, which is nice. You can also show the fill range for that one. It's about the same as all the others. I'm going to go turn off the egg range, I believe it is. Hide pull range, yeah. Alright, so this is the range for the plant commander. So you might need one or two, depending on how big or how small your base is. Okay, but you can always hide it. So you can adjust the plant range, you can adjust the plant targeting, you can put all plants to sleep, and you can wake them all up. It's really nice, really easy, and of course you can pin code it. It is locked by default. Alright, so we came back, we're going to come back to the egg tray real quick. So it'll pick up fertilized eggs, but it's really meant for picking up non-fertilized eggs and just kind of collecting them for you. And since we have stacking so high, it's going to probably collect 300 different types of eggs. Okay, but as we move this way, this is the incubator, AA incubator. We don't have the hatchery anymore, and that's because Automatic Arc has its own incubator. The incubator shows the installation range, and it's absolutely massive. Anything in here will incubate, which is really, really sweet. Now, when you activate it, the little pods come in and out. And so that's how you know it's running. Okay? This, along with this egg crate and a couple of other things that you saw earlier, are methods for you to get eggs and fertilize eggs and incubate eggs for while your dinos are out. There is a better and more accurate way of doing this by using dino storage, and I'll address that here shortly. Okay, stay tuned. Alright, so the AA Cauldron, it's kind of like your first cooking pot or your cooker, but it's kind of better than both. The reason is because it's self-irrigating. You can pretty much put this down anywhere and you have water. The only thing you can't do is literally drink from it directly, but it does not require a water source, and it can be used as a water source. And it can also automatically pull resources for brews and soups. So let's say I want to create an energy. I can pull an energy brew. Oh, I need stimulants, so I can't do that. Something I can do, maybe a medical brew? No, I'm missing narcotic as well. So I'll show those later. So there's a crafting station there. I'll come back. But yeah, it's just a cauldron, like a cooking pot or a cooker. You can make consumables. You can use crafted foods. These are all the kibbles. And I like how it's organization a lot. So I think I'm going to use this way more than my cooker, because the cooker needs to be attached to some sort of water source, and this is a water source. Which is really, really nice. That's what that gold pipe is doing. It's pretty much self-tapping water. It's nice. Alright. Bam! This is the Polymer Transmuter. So first, let me see if... Yes, I am still an admin. And so I'm going to go ahead and say... to give me some organic polymer, because let's say I have some snails and they're producing polymer, kind of rarely, but you know, you want to get that. And one of the really nice things about the transmuter is that it'll convert polymer in between the three items here. So it's really nice. You do need to do it in terms of 10, so I'm going to have to get 9 more of these. So There you go. All right, so you do have to do it in stacks of 10, but you can convert it between the different types of polymer. So that's all it does. So I would highly suggest having one of these, but you can convert everything to hard polymer or even organic polymer. But organic polymer, using the corrupted nodes, or this one actually has a decay timer. It's like 4 days in this, with that, and it is 4 days of the corrupted nodules. But when you just use the regular organic polymer conversion, then you can keep that unlimited. So I would highly use this. That way you don't ever spoil your polymer. All right, so that was the polymer. This does not have OCD pulling, which is a shame because I would be able to pull stuff out of here all day, every day, which would be really sweet, but you can't. All right, moving on. This is the chemistry station for AA, or the Mortar Pestle. It doesn't give you anything crazy like the chem benches do, but it does allow you to like make spark powder and stuff. And when it does, I'm gonna see if I can make some stimulant. And so there it is. So now that I have the stimulant, I can go over to my cauldron and make an energy brew. Oh, that's right, and I need to turn it on, of course. But yeah, so brews, and I make them like so, and I can take them. So it's pretty nice, and you can pull all the resources you need pretty easily. So it's not a big deal. All right. But yeah, it's just a chemistry station. It's just like a mortar and pestle, and it just has 300 slots for you to use, which is really, really sweet. One of the really nice things is you can make flamethrower ammo directly in here without the need of a fabricator. And consumables and drugs. All right, there you go. Next one is the grill, the AA Auto Grill. I really love this thing because it does have OCD pulling, and you can put. So I'm going to show the list right here. OCD list, raw meat. So right now it only has raw meat, right? But let's say I throw the meat, it gets picked up way over here by the vacuum. There it is, 47 meat, right? So here in a bit we'll come back and we're gonna see that the grill pulls it, cooks it. After it's cooked, if you all remember that the fridge is pulling cooked meat, so it'll automatically end up here. So 282, it should increase by 47 or whatever that was. Over here. So yeah, it'll grow by 47. So it'll end up here. I'm gonna take this cooked meat just so you guys can see the difference right now. But it's really, really nice. So there it is, the 47. It's cooking. It does cook 12 at a time, just like a regular grill does. So there's no like cheesy stuff happening, but the only really cool thing about this is that it kind of does it for you automatically. If you imagine coming in, dropping all the prime you have, dropping all the raw meat you have on a Dino, and literally teleporting out again just to go farm, this grill will automatically cook all your meat and store it for you, which is really, really nice. All right. Next up, vaults, and you're gonna see this actually cook. There it is, all 47 meat. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in here, just so you guys can see. So this will automatically get. Oh, that's right, I can't. Just like a regular grill, you can't put cooked meat back onto the grill. But that's okay. All I have to do is drop it, and it'll get picked up by the vacuum. That one I'm not going to drop. I'm just going to leave it in there. And when it does its next sort, we'll come back and we'll see when this is 0 out of 300 slots. And we'll see that it's in the fridge. All right. So, vaults. There are 4 different types of vaults now. In addition, and these are all from AA, so AAOCD, AOCD, AAOCD, and AOCD. The difference between these two, actually, I'm going to start over here. So this is a driftwood vault made with wood. If you see the engrams, OCD Vault, so this takes fiber, thatch, and wood, really small. Then this one takes cementing, metal, and stone. This one takes the same, except it's cementing, metal, and polymer. And of course the drop vault, cementing, metal, polymer, and oil. The difference between these, and you'll see that you still have the regular vault and the S plus vault. Again, you're seeing me having to learn this engram. You should have plenty to kind of learn them as you go. But the difference between them is this one's made of the wood, and it's only 1500 health. This one is made of marble, and this one is 40,000 health. This one is made out of metal, and it's the strongest at 50,000. This one is also made out of metal, also at 50,000, but this is a drop vault. So the difference being that if I was to pick up this foundation or otherwise destroy the foundation, this vault would fall straight down, whereas this one would be destroyed. The contents of them would then be empty. So I highly recommend using the drop vaults or the S plus or regular vaults, as they all drop. These all have OCD pulling, and so for example, right now I have all pikes here, so I'm going to go and drop this ramshackle pike, and it's going to get sucked up by the vacuum. Just give that a second. There it goes. Alright, and it'll end up back in here once the pull happens. Alright, let me see, there's still meat in here. It's the next time this thing disappears. Right, and just like this, you can show the OCD list. It doesn't actually have anything, so what I'm going to do is add resources to list, and there it is. Pike was added to the list. So now I'm going to show that OCD. Oh, it doesn't seem like it's showing, but it's really nice because you can rename it and you say pikes. And then you do have to do this little thing a couple of times, but there it is. Same thing for these vaults. This, I have all these things already in here. So if I show CD list, thatch, fiber, hide, wood, stone, and metal. Of course, I'm going to drop all these things out. And if you come, it's actually in the vault right now, which kind of sucks, but it's in there. I'm going to go over here to the vacuum because I think it already picked it all up. Yeah, you see all this stuff that got picked up? So all of this, along with the meat and stuff, will get pushed to that area soon. It's probably got about a minute left, maybe, before that pushes through. When it does, it'll end up automatically in this vault. These stack sideways and vertically, so it's really easy to stay organized, which I love. I don't have anything else in here, so I'm going to say metal ingots go here, and this one I do it this way and close the menu. Alright, cool. So now when it pushes, right now I only have 122 ingots. Any extra ingots that I have will be pulled in here. And of course the drop vault works the exact same way. Right now I have a couple of blueprints, but I'm going to go find something inside here that I want to, let's say, oh hell, so that's already going to go. Let's say I want some arrows, right? And let me just drop that. Alright, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to say arrows and then resources to list. So it added all those things. So for this one, I'm going to say rename arrows. and then use custom name. I'm going to rename this to ingots and show, oops, use custom name, and then this one already pulled everything in. Alright, so now it just did that pull, so that's not out yet, but you should see that green pike in here. You should not see any more meat in there. Then over here in the fridge, you're gonna see all that meat in there. Then anything I threw, like the spoiled meat and the hide, will get pushed here. And this will right now send all these arrows over there. It's really, really nice organizational system with the OCD. Alright. We'll move on for now. We'll come back to check on arrows and ingots. Alright. So 2 industrial forges. And so I'm going to go into the engrams. And I'm going to call up a forge. Alright, so we've disabled the S plus forge because it doesn't have the OCD pooling that the AA forge does. Okay, uses just about the same amount of materials to craft, so it's not a big deal. You can also use the regular industrial forge. We did not take away the S plus refining forge because there's no need to. You guys are free to use that just like you would a regular forge, and the industrial mini forge is much the same. The thing I really like about the mini forge though is at this level you can get, even though it's the same kind of amount of give back, the amount of smelting speed and whatnot, it does require wood, spark powder, thatch, or angler gel to power it. But you can use it if you have multiples of these and you're still low level. You can have multiple of these, and it has an auto balance feature, which is really, really sweet. As an example, I think I have some metal here. Oops, I didn't pull it. There you go. So I can do this, and I can disable pulling if I wanted to, but the range is actually pretty decent. So I can just kind of fly by here, and the forges will pull it for me. And it does pull from the dinos, and there is a balance forges option that'll spread the metal across all forges of its size, of course. So I believe this forge is much the same thing. You can balance the forges, but it does burn a whole hell of a lot quicker. Okay, so these ingots will actually end up pulling, auto pulling out of here and moved over to the ingots vault shortly. So we can tell that the other 122 were added in here. And then this forge is now missing the ingots. So if you go all the way over here to the console, like I said, the console is your home. You're gonna see some metal in here, unless of course it already pushed. It did, so it's already in the ingots vault. This is really nice. All right, so those are the 2 forges. All right, that's about it for automated arc. These are all the things we added to that we're adding to our cluster. I've kind of gone through them one by one and kind of explained how they all work. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to check out either the documentation for automatic arc, or if you guys have specific questions. There is one more thing I'll show you, and that's this thing over here. It's called a medical station. It pretty much covers a 2 to 3 foundation area around it. And what it does is it takes medical brews, and then it'll heal any damaged players or dinosaurs in the area. just over time. And it's faster than just waiting for the heal. But it does cost medical brews to do. It's not fantastic. It doesn't suck either. And it's not really powerful because it takes a ton of medical brews for it to function. All right. And that's it for automated ARG. All right. Now, I'm going to talk about Dino storage. Now, Dino storage is a mod that we've been using on our old cluster for a while. However, here recently, we just turned on all the automation features, at least most of them. And because of them, we're able to pretty much get rid of a ton of these other mods. Or items. Like if we wanted to, we could get rid of the incubator. We could get rid of the egg crate. We could get rid of anything. We were able to get rid of the S plus mods, the hatchery, the animal tender, the farmer, the hitching post, and that's because the Soul Terminal here does all of that for us. It's really, really sweet. So I have a trike here, right? And what I don't have, unfortunately, is any crystal to create to ball it up. But I'm going to cheat real quick, and I'm going to spawn in a... what do you call it? A soul ball. So just give me a sec real quick. Let me go ahead and get that code. A soul trap. All right, there. I have a soul trap. So I'm going to trap this dino. All right, I'm going to come over here, and so I'm going to explain all the automation options kind of one by one. So we're going to start with options, newborn auto trap. There are a couple of different options here, and this is the default how it looks, okay? But we enable all of these for you guys to use. Okay, so the first one is, do you want to enable newborn auto trap? What that does is any eggs in its range that hatch, or any mammals that give birth, as long as there are empty traps in the terminal, will automatically pick them up as soon as they're born. So in case you've ever had what we call a breeding bomb go off, which means you dropped a bunch of eggs and then you had to run off or something, and you came back and all your babies hatched and they died. So this stops that from happening. It automatically traps them into souls, and you're able to release them and then raise them normally. So first things first, I'm going to set it to visible, and I'm going to set the range down to much lower, like 3 foundations. So if you see, let me see what I did here. Options, newborn auto trap. So it is visible. Oh, I'm sorry, and we do have to enable it in order to see it. All right, so you see it right here, this light blue line. And so I'm going to turn my gamma like way down just so you can really see it. So there it is. That bubble, anything inside this bubble will be auto trapped. There are a couple other options in that menu. You can enable or disable a mating pulse. That is not the same thing as S+'s mutator by any means. All that does is it pretty much locks the dinos in that area, kind of like a, what do you call it, like a leash. That's why we got rid of it in S+. We don't have hitching posts anymore because we don't need it. You can use a regular hitching post if you want, but I believe, yeah, you can use a regular Dino leash or the S+ Tech leash, but the hitching posts are gone because we didn't need them. This mod will do it for you, and it'll pretty much, all it does is it enables dinos to be to be on wandering, and enables their mating. But it keeps them leashed to this area, which is really, really nice. Okay, so all you need to do is pretty much go to that newborn auto trap, just enable that, and it says enable mating, and then you can also disable it. And of course, you can grow or shrink that range. Awesome. So now I'm going to talk about the really big automation stuff. Okay. So right now I have a trike in here, and I'm going to start with the reason we got rid of the farmer. And if you're at all familiar with automatic arc, it comes with like a fertilizer deal and all sorts of other stuff. I got rid of it all, and the reason for that is because the terminal does a much better job of converting this for you. So if you want it to generate fertilizer, you will need a beetle, and the more beetles you have, the more it stacks. If you have any questions about how that works, you can either ask me in chat and Discord, or you can look up the Dino storage guide, which will tell you everything you need to know about how this automation works. Okay, but I'm going to go into options, automation. These are all the things you can do. You notice it allows for fertilized egg collection. It allows for fertilized egg incubation. It generates unfertilized eggs. It'll also generate passive items. So like in an Echatina, for example, in the snail, it'll passively generate cementing paste and organic polymer. So if you have a snail sobald in here and you have this passive generation on, it'll automatically over time generate, and every minute it checks to see how much it's supposed to make. So the things that usually affect Echatinas, the snails, or beetles, or things like that, like you need to be in render range, or you need to be rendered in, or you need to be logged in. None of that matters here because the terminal takes all that into account. So if you put one snail in here and you log off immediately after turning this on, and you wake up in the morning and you do it, it'll have generated as much paste and polymer as if you would have gotten by constantly taking the polymer and paste out manually over that same amount of time as if you had it always rendered. So it's all generated the way it's supposed to be working. But your limit is really only the number of slots that you have in the terminal, which in this case is 300. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn all of this on just so I can kind of go through it with y'all. So all of these make sense. Miscellaneous poop is pretty much any kind of thing that comes out of an animal's anus or mouth, for the owl, and isn't used for fertilizer. So snails poop paste also, it also does that. And let's say owls hawk up those the owl pellets, it'll generate that. Okay. So you can have as many of these terminals as you want in the area. So for example, have one with a couple of owls in there and you'll have all the owl pellets you're ever going to need. You have another one with a couple of large dinos in there to generate poop, and a couple of beetles to convert the poop to fertilizer, and you're golden. You're going to have oil and fertilizer for days. Right? So this is all of the things that you can do. And so right now I'm interested in maybe getting an unfertilized egg from the trike and getting some poop from the trike. So I'm going to go ahead and just move the trike over. And I'm going to go ahead and chill out for a second. Okay? Did this thing just try and attack me? So I'm just going to try punching it, see if that works. Yay, it worked. Alright, so I'm just gonna kill this damn thing because this isn't pissing me off. Alright, so like I said, really cool thing about this is I can just kind of drop it and it'll cook eventually by itself. Alright, so I'm gonna go check on the thing here. Immediately, it already generated medium fat feces. Awesome. Now, over time, it'll also generate the eggs and things like that. Its range will also pick up eggs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the dodo eggs that we had earlier. And I'm going to disable that. And one of the things that, and the only thing this doesn't do is pick up eggs already. Because it's not meant to. What you see it down here in the corner. So it's not going to pick those up by any means because it's meant to generate eggs based on the dinos that you have in here. So for example, a trike would have trike eggs in there. If you have is it aloes, I think you have aloe eggs in there. So none of this is done yet, and I'm starving, so I need to eat something. So I'm just gonna eat some jerky. There we go. Alright, cool. And still seedling. Alright. So it's generated poop, and so what that'll do is if you had a beetle in here also soul balled, it will also generate fertilizer for you. It would convert this to fertilizer and oil at the regular rate as if you were always there. It's really nice. Right, so I'm just going to go back into the automation options real quick. You can tell it how many poops to keep, and the rest, it won't generate more than that. So if you can get like a Titan in there, a Titanosaur, those things generate massive poops. And massive poops gives you something like 16 fertilizer per. And then it also gives you a bunch of oil as well. So you can actually just do that and convert and have fertilizer forever. Because they poop a lot when you put it at the math level. Alright. So a couple of other things real quick. Alright, so it'll generate all these things. The only thing it won't generate is fertilized egg collection or the incubation. So what it does is if I had a fertilized egg, and so what I'm going to do is actually spawn in a fertilized egg. I think I can do that. You know what? I can call another trike. So there it is. See, another feces. Alright, so I'm not going to just go tame a female trike real quick and then enable the mating so you guys can see how that works. It's really nice because it'll also cook it for you. And so I'm just going to do a quick do tame here. I know I saw a trike over here not too long ago. I know there's one across the river, but I don't kind of feel like going. There it is. And so I'm just going to... Oh my god, seriously? High level, man. Alright, so I'm gonna... Alright, great. So, is this... Yes, it's a female! Alright, so I'm just gonna have it run after me. Remember guys, these are Kraken's better dinos, so the trikes are way bigger than normal. And they have a bunch of other things that they do, so just be sure to read the mod data on that. So I just need to get it in there. There it comes. Just needs to be in this bubble. And so it's already in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and release this trike right there. And then I have that one coming over, right? And so right now, none of them, so you see down at the bottom, enable wandering to mate. or mating to mate. So what this is going to do is I'm just going to go to the newborn auto trap. I'm going to say enable mating pulse, close. And so you already see that they're already mating. Awesome, right? So okay, so this is going to drop a fertilized egg, and I have in my automation settings fertilized egg collection and incubation, meaning that this will incubate for me. Hence, I don't actually need this incubator. So I'm going to go ahead and deactivate that. And I'm going to make sure that the egg crate is disabled. Yeah. So these are disabled. So it's mating, is doing its thing. We just got to wait for it. And right now, while that's happening, actually, I'll go ahead and talk about the last mod that we have, the Awesome Teleporters mod. There are a couple of options here. And so I don't know if I even have that. I need electronics and crystal. So I'm just going to spawn that in real quick then. Let me just go ahead and say Awesome Teleporters. And I think it just pooped out an egg, right? No, not yet. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just spawn in a couple of the items from Awesome Teleporters. There are a total of 3 things in this mod, but we are only using 2 of them. I have disabled the Dino tractor because it can get kind of cheaty. Alright, so this thing is going to hatch before I have time to... There it is. Alright, so cool thing. Spoop, and I'll talk about this in a second because this is almost done. Come on. And it pooped it. So within a minute, this will be collected by the terminal. So we just need to wait. I'm gonna do my talking from here just so we can see it when it disappears, right? So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and take out my awesome teleporter remote. This is really nice. You click it, and I can. I have all the. There it is. Sorry. So it disappeared. That means it's in the terminal now. There it is, and you see it's incubating. So look at egg incubation. There is 95 out of 100, and we'll come check on it here in a bit, and it should be incubated much further by now. Alright, so, alright. Now, Awesome Teleporters mod. So, these are a little bit different. They look a little weirder. But they now have 3 sizes to them. You can do small, medium, and large. You can allow public use. You can allow ally use only. You have to uncheck that and check that one. Right now I'm in admin mode. You have a public. So it's private by tribe only, or ally or public, and you can choose which to do. Okay. Another thing it comes with is this remote here. This is the Awesome Teleporter remote. This lets you create a teleportation bubble wherever it is you are for free, pretty much. So I'm going to go ahead and run this way over here. And I'm going to say, okay, let's go to the tech cave. And so it opens a bubble for me there. So I could have sent anything I wanted in there. But because I moved out, I didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and this I'm going to stay in. It'll teleport me to the tech cave entrance. Because it's set at all to have an obelisk. This is one of the most useful tools to have, especially if you're in a pinch. You see I'm at the volcano. So now if I had a pick, I could just come and farm crystal here, or I can come get a note. Alright, so I'm going to go back, and this time I'm going to go to the green obelisk. Very slight delay, but it works much better than the teleport version 1.4 mod we were using before. So you notice I'm at green op. Alright, so I'm going to actually go ahead and go to Awesome Teleporter, which is back to my home base. And look, there's a Titan. So I'm here. I'm back. So that is how the teleporter mod works. It's really easy, really simple, and you can place a battery here to power it if you needed to, but you don't. We don't have the need for power enabled on the teleporter, so that's unnecessary. Come back here, we notice now that the egg is fertilized at 83 out of 100%, and this will all the way go down. And this does restrict server rates, so it is a lot easier to use. Alright guys, that's about it. These are all the things we've added, so please feel free to come and play on the server for now. This is just a test. If you guys have comments, questions, concerns, please feel free to leave comments in Discord, and I'll go ahead and reply to those as we get them. That's it for now. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me directly or Ayla, as far as any other ideas you guys might have. Thanks all.